So now we are on question 3. So question 3 says, a baby leaves a bowl of food on the floor and crawls westwards to fetch a toy placed 5 meters away. At the same time, a dog walks. Eastwards towards the baby. It takes the baby 30 seconds. To reach the toy. The dog walks past the toy. To eat the baby. To eat the baby's food. In the bowl. Right? So let's say this is the dog. Right, that's the dog. So this is the toy. So between these there is 7 meters. Then the baby. Here now we are having the baby. So the baby is 5 meters away from the toy. Then this is the food bowl of the baby, like that. Then we can have the compass, north, south, west, east, like that. Then the questions. So now the questions. Then the questions. Define displacement in words. So 3.11. Define the term displacement. Define the term displacement in words. 3.12. Determine the position. Determine the position of the dog. Determine the position of the dog relative. Determine the position of the dog relative to the baby. Before they both moved. Right? Before they both moved. Then 3.13. Right? Calculate the average velocity of the baby. Then if the average speed of the baby, of the dog, is twice If the average speed of the dog is twice that of the baby, calculate how long it would take the dog to reach the food in the bowl. Right, so those are the questions. So let's move to the solution. Let's quickly go to the solution. So the solutions. So displacement, you said this is the change in position of an object. That's displacement, change of position of an object. Right? So we're saying 3.1. So a displacement is the change in position of an object that is magnitude and direction. We can define displacement like this. Then 3.2 or 3.12. So we wanted to find the position of the dog relative to the baby before they moved, right? So I'm going to say 7 meters plus 5 meters. It will give us 12 meters to the waist of the baby, right? To the waist of the baby. So this is the position of the dog. It was 12 meters to the waist of the baby. Alright, so 3.3. The average velocity of the baby cannot be determined. Cannot be determined. We cannot determine the first average velocity of the baby since it does not give us the time it takes for the baby to move, right? Right, then 3.4. So we know that the distance between the dog and the baby, where the bowl of the food is, we're saying is 12 meters to the waist, right, of the baby, right? So we know that we are also given that the average velocity of the dog is twice that of the baby. So let's say let VB equals to average velocity of the baby. That means average velocity of the dog will be 2 VB. 2 VB will be the average velocity of the dog, because we said the velocity of the dog is twice the velocity of the baby. So if we say the average velocity of the baby is VB, that means that of the dog is 2 VB, like that. That means now we can say again we are not given the time, so we are not given the time. So since we are not given the time, therefore the average velocity cannot be determined because we are not given the time, right? Then 3.5, let's go to 3.5, which is the last part of the question. So 3.5, question 3.5. So we're going to say, so on 3.5, we have an initial velocity of 3 meters per second, then final velocity of 5 meters per second, then time interval 0.8 seconds. Therefore, A equals to final velocity minus initial velocity over change in time. So this will give us 5 meters per second minus 3 meters per second over 0.8 seconds, and we are going to have 2 meters per second over 0.8 seconds. So we are going to get 2.5 meters per second squared. So that brings us to the end of the question.